KNAC.C0M. Happy New Year. It's been a while. I'm checking in with you all here. I have the pleasure of speaking to the drummer from the American black metal band Blood Stained Dusk. On the line right now, I'm speaking with Profana, drummer for the band. How you doing, bro?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you. American black metal is not a term that you hear too often. For those unaware of Blood Stained Dusk, these guys have been around since '98. Your first EP was
Correct.
released in 2001. Coming soon, you'll be releasing your EP, No Light Shall Penetrate. Is that correct?
That's for the single.
That's the
Um,
single. Okay.
we're working on a title for the full album. That's just for the single. No Light Shall Penetrate.
Cool. And I've had a chance to check out some of the material, and man, what I appreciate about uh, the sound that you guys have, um, it's kind of the original black metal sound. I feel like nowadays it's kind of straight a little bit, but I guess that's
Yeah.
also I guess that's the good thing about black metal too. It like expands its sound a little bit, but with Blood Stained Dusk, you kind of
Our
you guys.
influences are
Uh huh.
literally all over the board. We are very much inspired by first and second wave of black metal, and of course, early death metal and all too. There's hints of death metal in our stuff, here and there, especially with the newer stuff. We broadened our horizons a little bit.
And you also have like that raw sound too to your music. It's not uh, like many bands nowadays that just I feel like they're way overproduced and it loses its crisp raw sound. And you guys still have that raw sound. Is that done on purpose?
Thank you. Yes, it is completely on purpose. We don't want it to sound like we recorded on a fucking clock radio, and then obviously we don't want to have something that's been so overproduced it sounds fake.
Right.
Uh, Somewhere in the middle is the gray area for that, and that's where we have always wanted to be. Um, Now with this new material, uh, I would say it's the best produced out of all of our stuff. But we grew as a band and as musicians and everything, and used the click track and everything just to make it as perfect as we could.
And now, are you like a DIY band? Are you guys all doing this yourself in house, or are you guys working with somebody?
We recorded at a friend's house in Georgia, Crow Altar Studios, and then we had Alex Para. Oh, God, I forget what the band's name is. Uh, I'm sorry, Alex, if you're listening. I forget the name of his band. But anyway, his company, Second Sight Studios, did all of the mixing and mastering for us.
Now, how long did it take for this writing process for this new EP to come out? Did you guys spend a lot of time working on this material?
Yes, we did. It did take a few years. We had COVID happened. That put a major dent in everything.
Sure.
For everyone,
Hmm.
especially any type of touring musicians. I mean, even just the entertainment industry in a whole. And we had to take that into I guess you could say into consideration. We were still writing and everything during, but we didn't actually get together and play, when the pandemic was at its worst,
Okay.
just in case. So that way
Sure, sure.
we
Yeah.
weren't constantly giving it back and forth to each other and everything. But, uh, had some other things happen too. But, we were finally able to, all get together and sit down and start writing the stuff, toss some ideas around. And, now with the three songs well, almost 4 that we have for the new album,
Hmm.
all basically, kind of speak for themselves. It did take a while, though, say maybe a year for us to be able to get everything done, plus it took a while to get the um, recording itself done
Hmm.
because I live about 4 hours away from the recording studio, and
Oh
the other
wow.
guys live a couple hours away
Oh wow.
as well. So, and then trying to balance everybody's time to where we would be able to go in the studio.
Yeah.
It,
That
it's been it's been fun, but it's well worth it.
sure, of course, of course. The part of the struggle is what makes it all worth it, man. It's part of the fun, right?
Correct.
Like, and
Yes, absolutely.
that 4 hour trek, like, it's kind of hard not to get there kind of exhausted, right? Like, I mean, you kind of have to deflate after the long drive, and to have the energy and pump out like some extreme, drumming. It's not an easy task, man. So, horns to that.
No, definitely not.
So,
I love doing it. I'll do it till the day I die. So,
awesome. Hell yeah, that's yeah, to the death, man, to the death. And
absolutely.
and of course, like, metal as a whole is what it's about, but black metal, it's in its own belief system. And to be, I mean, I would consider you guys part of the new era, the modern era of black metal. But again,
Hmm.
American black metal is not something you hear too often. What do you think sets you apart from? I hate to use the word traditional black metal, but what do you think also brings you within the circle of black metal? What are the two different sides of that?
Like as I said before, our interests and inspirations and everything are literally all over the place. And with, I mean, first, second, third wave, every bit. I mean, there's so much going on that honestly, it's almost kind of difficult for me to answer, just to put my finger on, like, okay, this is exactly what um, caused us to, to write this
Mhm.
or to do this. It's just I get, make it easy. Everything in a whole, just everything in general with just metal music, just anything that is, dark and heavy
Sure, right,
and
right.
well structured,
Hmm.
well thought out. All that kind of stuff is a very big inspiration for us.
Hmm.
At earlier years, we were, I guess, more worried about, the whole cult status and being as grim as you could possibly be
Hmm.
and all that. So, now I'm just more focused on a quality product.
Yeah, letting the music speak for itself, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. A lot of bands like they have this persona or this smoke and mirrors that they kind of put that ahead of the music. And I've always been a believer that the music should speak for itself. As a band, as an artist, I mean, you shouldn't lose sight of that. It should be about the music, not just the persona. The visuals should be secondary, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Our music will always be, first with us. Now um, with our presentation and with our, stage, with our stage gear and everything, we want our, our look to be as, as horrifying as the music that we play.
Again, we're speaking to Profana, drummer for Blood Stained Dusk. Do you have a perspective date?
We do not. Our manager, Wendy, has been sending our EPK out to different labels and to um, different radio programs, such as yourselves.
Mhm.
We've had some, pretty fast responses, but I'm not sure past that. Wendy, you still with us?
Yeah, this part I can chime in on if y'all don't mind.
Sure.
Francisco, one of the things that we immediately started looking at in 2020, 2021, when Worship and Disintegrate was released as a single, there was the lyric video. It received critical acclaim for what they were doing because this is a resurgence of a band that has been one of the forerunners of American black metal.
Mhm.
And they just continuously worked on the songs that they felt would be the best to send out to the labels. We have a submission into Season of Mist. I have gone a little bit back and forth with Metal Blade because I've worked with them for so many years. Right now, their big focus is Amon Amarth, but it wasn't a no. So I guess that's a very positive thing. They will revisit it. And then there's Noble Demon, which is, as you know, is run by Patrick Walsh, who used to be with Nuclear Blast. And then, of course, there are the labels that just sign black metal. And I would like to be able to have international distribution for the band's product when it does come out. So I think that signing with one of the aforementioned labels would be a primary focus. I'm working on sending it to Relapse too, because I feel like they would fit very well on their roster. Peaceville is another. So as we go and as we kind of put steps in place, the more I'm reaching out on their behalf. I truly feel like by this time next year, not only will they be on one of these labels, but we're also in the works to submit a package to Inferno Festival in Norway. Midgard's Blot this summer was a possibility, but I think they are having some issues with their rosters, and I'm really not sure what that holds for us. It may not be something that we end up doing, but yes, by next year, new album, new label, festival circuit, everything that we want to bring them back onto the map, so to speak.
Very cool. Thanks for that information.
Awesome.
You mentioned some good labels, well respected labels, definitely labels that have a history, a legacy, like Relapse and Metal Blade.
Hmm.
You also mentioned Season of Mist, and these new labels. Well, not new, but a lot of these labels are signing some amazing bands, and I think I'm listening to these bands more than I'm listening to like Metal Blade artists or Relapse artists. With respect to them, but some of these bands that are getting signed or they're just kind of getting more out there, like those are catching my attention, and no doubt I'm sure like whatever label lands Blood Stained Dust is going to definitely benefit from you guys because you guys have that sound.
Thank you.
Modern metal as what it is like it needs bands like you. It needs bands that you know stay traditional, but at the same time are still uh, uh, just making a statement. I think and that's important. But yeah, hails to you guys. Hails to you guys. I'm sure you guys will land a great deal.
Thank you. We're trying our best to, just to appeal to a wider audience.
Mhm. Now, now, let's see. Being, I know I mentioned this before, but it's just interesting to me. Coming from Alabama and having this idea of forming a black metal band, I can't help but wonder what kind of looks, what kind of reactions you were getting from your peers or from your surroundings, from your hometown, from the whole state. Like, just considering, I would imagine it's like a widely, largely like religious town or a state in general. But I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it's part of the Bible Belt.
yeah,
It really is.
were you met with a lot of like hostility or support? Like, tell me about it.
To be honest, not really. I mean, you have some assholes that'll, mess with you or whatever. As soon as you get, in their face and all, they back down. But I've only had a very small handful of incidents that had to be taken care of. But for the most part, it's a very laid back here. Not nobody will really mess with you. Um, there is such a thing as, Southern hospitality and everything, which that is really true. It really does happen here.
Mhm.
I'm originally from up north. I was
Okay.
born in Philly and lived in South Jersey. And, a hello up there would be a middle finger and then a fuck off right afterwards.
Right.
Here it's a little different. They'll
Mhm.
wave to you.
Mhm.
So it's definitely, I'm still in culture shock, even though I've been here since '92. But
Okay. Now, now, tell me a little bit about the scene as you were like, you've been in various scenes from Philly and now to where you're at.
at one
What?
time, the
Mhm.
scene in Huntsville was amazing.
Yeah.
We had a lot of really good bands, and then one day it just died. It
Oh
just
man.
completely died off. I mean, there's a handful of bands around, here now, but is it nearly as strong and unified as it was at one point? No, not even close.
Oh man. Sorry to hear that. What's is Huntsville like a large metropolitan city where like a lot of the major tours come through, or do you have to travel a distance?
At one time, everybody supposedly wanted to, have Huntsville on their tour roster. I mean, we had a lot of really awesome bands coming through here, um, and even major,
Mhm.
bands. I remember we had Rat, Twisted Sister.
Yeah. Awesome.
I just saw Queen Trike here not too long ago. Um, it's a Black Label. Oh, that got canceled. Black Label Society.
Mhm.
We were actually trying to get on as an opener for that because they had a black metal band with them, which was kind of funny.
Talking with Profana, drummer for Blood Stained Dusk, American black metal. Their new music is something that you're gonna really, really enjoy. Uh, Now, I'm a drummer myself. I love talking gear. So tell us a little bit about your rig. What's your setup like right now?
Right now, I have I say it's a '90s model Premier double bass kit. Just two bass drums, three rack toms. Let me see, it's got two floors and you see one, two, three, four crashes, two chinas, two hi hats, and I used to have two rides, but I took one off, and then one splash,
Hmm.
and of course the snare.
Right, right. What symbols are you using?
It's a mixture,
Oh, okay,
Zildjian, paste, and Sabian.
okay. Do you have a preference of which ones you like so far?
Let me see. That'd be a kind of a toss up between the Sabians and the Zildjians.
Right.
Zildjian seemed to break on me a little bit faster than Sabians do.
Hmm.
I'm not necessarily a super heavy player, but I'm not a light one. So I'm somewhere in the middle. And I use Scorpion um,
The drumsticks.
5B wood tip
Hmm.
sticks too,
Okay.
and give them a shout out. They're a fantastic company. I've been
Yes.
endorsed with them for a little while.
Right on. Cool. I got to check out those drumsticks. I've heard good things about Scorpion, and I like their models. I like the way they look.
Get the
So
ones with they're called a Venom grip.
ah,
They're like a neon green. It's some kind of a dip.
yeah, it's like for added, yeah, like you said, a grip. Like that's what like one of the things that like kind of got my attention.
I haven't, sometimes I still lose a stick. It just happens.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Right. Right.
with these, you're much less likely to lose the sticks.
And what kind of pedals are you using?
Trick
Ooh, nice.
Dominators.
Hmm.
Um, a friend of mine, Corey Sutton, helped me get on with them as well. They're the best pedals I have ever used in my life, and they have something called an SB1 laser trigger built into the to the pedal
Really?
itself.
Really? Wow.
Dude, they're amazing.
I gotta,
You know,
gotta
I
check
like
those
the
out.
D drum reds and the Roland ones and all,
Sure,
but
sure.
you know what happens if you have the bass player that wants to play too loud on stage.
Hmm.
You're going to sound like you're going "Bzz, bzz, 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 bzz," and you're not even
Mm,
doing anything. So
mm.
I just got tired of that and
Oh,
found
because
out
like
about
they're ultra
these. They're
sensitive. You mean?
expensive, but they're well worth it because you can
Because they're
have
ultra.
a bass amp sitting on your lap and it doesn't matter because the only way that you're going to, um, you know, be able to make the trigger work is actually stepping on the pedal and making the laser grid, you know, connect with one another. So as soon as you step on the pedal, it
Wow.
registers, and that's what makes your noise.
It's like a circuit or something. Right on. That's pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
they're
gotta,
killer,
I
but
gotta check those out.
they're honest. So if you're having a
Honest.
bad night, everybody will know.
I like that. You want triggers that are honest. I like that.
Yeah, they're brutally honest, man.
Very cool.
So I
Now,
mean, I've been playing for a long time. And I
right.
still have bad nights. It has how it goes.
Oh, we all have bad nights, man. But we trek through it somehow, man. We bite our lip and we fucking trek through it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, cool. Let's go back to your first full length release back in 2001 with Dirge of Death's Silence.
Yeah.
2001. Um, Without getting into too much detail, we'll say it was also a tumultuous time for, I guess, America, and maybe for the rest of the world. What was going on in your mind? What was going on around you? Uh, did all that lead into the decision of starting a black metal band?
That it could be earlier, honestly, than that. It was 97, 98 is right around when I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to, you know, get something together. I'm not sure if you knew or not, but I did session drums for Ancient from Norway. They had come over here. This was, I think, around August, I believe, August or September of 98. They came over here and their drummer got in trouble and supposedly got some jail time. So they were without a drummer. And a friend of mine noticed it was on their website or whatever. You know, this is back before Facebook and MySpace and all that shit.
Right,
So
right, right.
uh, he saw it on their website and he called me and he was like, dude, how fast can you learn this stuff? And I was like, I could probably learn it, you know. Um, from here to Charlotte, North Carolina is where I had to try out. So
Hmm.
I learned four
Wow,
songs back to back
awesome.
just driving there. There were other drummers there. It was pretty nervous to be honest, but
Sure, of course. Like, how could you not be?
they were impressed that I had, you know, I just had everything ready, as ready as I could possibly, you know, have them from driving 8 hours. And they handed
Amazing.
me, you know, it was back then, it was a cassette with the set list. And I still have it to this day.
Awesome.
But after I got back from that is when I was like, okay, I'm going to get it and form my own black metal band. And
Sweet.
you know, the rest is history from there.
Yeah. Like it lit some hellfire in you and you were ready to go. That's
Indeed,
awesome, man.
it ignited the spark.
Very, very cool, man. Again, we're talking with the drummer from Blood Stained Dusk. That's a bit of a mouthful, man. I gotta tell you. The drummer Profana. We're talking about new music that will be due out within a year. A few songs. You have one song out right now, No Light Shall Penetrate, that you've put out as a single, getting some good reviews. And one one site that I really like to use to kind of get some information about a band is Metal Archives, the Encyclopedia Metallum, as it were.
Hmm.
It has an interesting fact here. It says here that you dabble a little bit with horror makeup, and you were on The Walking Dead.
Correct. I've
Yeah,
been
tell me.
on the show over 30 times as a walker and part of this Jada's survival group since season 5 all the way to season 9.
One of the walkers survives apparently. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to rewatch some of it and keep an eye out for you.
I'll
You
send
said
you some
season?
pictures and you'll be like, okay. I got
Yeah, totally.
one.
Please.
It was actually on The Talking Dead, which they played after every episode.
Yeah, I
And
went to a couple of tapings for that.
there's one where they stuck me right behind Rick, and it was fantastic. I was on there for, I mean, for you to get more than about 2 or 3 seconds of screen time is
Sure, right?
almost unheard of
That's
anymore.
awesome.
I was over there like for like a minute while he was having a conversation with the rest of the group or whatever. Um, I don't remember what the episode is, but I believe that was either season 7 or season 8.
But that's awesome, man. What got you into horror makeup into the horror scene?
I am also into like the haunted house industry too. Ever since, man, since about 1986 or so.
Awesome.
I started just working all these different haunted houses. It was a Castle Dracula in Wildwood, New Jersey. And I almost worked at Brigantine Castle in Brigantine, New Jersey, which both of them met a fiery demise, which is,
Oh,
yeah, I know, man. And I think that was like 2001. I was already moved, living
nobody got
here in
hurt.
Alabama. But
Nobody got hurt.
I don't know if anybody got hurt, but
Mm,
what happened was two kids decided to break in and go in with a torch, of all things.
oh
And
man.
if you know anything about what they make haunted houses and stuff out of, it's all extremely flammable material. I mean,
Oh
very,
right, right.
you know,
Wow.
all these different kinds of foam and wood and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it burnt down within hours. Did not take long at all. And it was a two-story, it was literally the size of a real castle. They modeled it after something in Romania.
I almost want to say it comes full circle because a lot of the lore that comes with black metal is the burning of churches and stuff like that. So
True. Yeah.
it's kind of weird how that I'd say works out, but it's just kind of I don't know if irony is the word, but
Hmm.
man, much hails to you and the guys at Blood Stained Dusk.
Thank you.
Looking
Many
forward, looking
hells up.
forward to this new release. Profana, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, brother. Again, look out for this new material. Um, do you have any words, anything that you want to just say to new fans or old fans that are just anticipating this new music from you?
Well, to begin with, thank you very much, Francesco, for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun talking to you and everything. Uh, you know, Glad I got to talk to yet another fellow metal drummer. And to anybody who is or has been a fan of the band and all, thank you for listening all these years, and hopefully you'll be listening for many more.
Be sure that on KNAC.com we will keep you updated with any news from them upon their release, and hopefully some tour in the works. Any talk of a tour?
We would absolutely love to, go on tour and everything. I kind of miss that. It's been a little while
Sure.
since we've done it, and would be worth doing and everything. It wouldn't half kill us financially. Yeah, it would be something we would love to do.
Well, I'm sure Los Angeles will, welcome you with bloody arms, and can't
We'll
wait to.
get you on
Can't,
the guest list. We play, in your
oh,
area.
thanks, brother. In return, I'll buy some merch. You know, what I mean, always support the bands by buying merch. Tell everybody all the time. If you make it to these shows, make sure you buy some merch, man. It's
Especially
that's where they.
nowadays, bands
Yeah,
really, really need that support.
totally, totally. Real quick before I let you go, but what are some of the bands that you're listening to right now?
Honestly, I don't get me wrong. I love, black metal, death metal, and everything. I mainly listen to stuff like '80s metal and like Black Sabbath
Hmm.
and Wasp and stuff like that. I'd
Yeah.
absolutely love to get some type of like a Wasp tribute band or doing something like the
Awesome.
first album, just
Hmm.
coming up with all original material that sounds similar. But
Hmm.
with black metal, I have uh Watain would definitely be a favorite. Um let me see, I've made some stuff for them for their stage show. Not sure if
Oh
you
wow.
got to see some of the rotted artwork that's on stage with the candelabra, rib cages, and stuff like that. I had
Awesome.
the
Wow.
honor of making those for them. And let me see, I made Hellhammer, from Mayhem.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
made him some stuff, and we played with them not too
Awesome.
long ago. They were supposed to come back,
Right.
and he really wanted us to go on the road with them for, 3 or 4 more shows. But something happened with tour bus availability, and they weren't able to come back. So it just got, postponed. So
Hmm.
hopefully they, when they come back over, will, get that opportunity again.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. That's one thing that you're mentioning. It's kind of goes back to some of the camaraderie like we briefly mentioned. Um, you're it's not just about you, man. You're helping, these bands, you're helping produce the product, the visual aspect of it. And I think that's a really important aspect, man, that you're helping each other, and you always want to reciprocate, and that's good, man. Horns to that, dude, because it's important that bands help each other in whatever ways, because you're helping the whole scene grow, as a
Yeah.
whole. You're all backing each other up, so that's very important, man. Very cool of you.
It is to me too, Um, I put, definitely old school, even kind of before the school even began. But I definitely thrive on, just helping my fellow musician out. If if someone needs to use my kit or use something off of it, or you know, offer to help set up and tear down stuff like that. We're all about that. And a lot of people, um, I don't know, don't, I guess you could say, and they think differently.
Hmm.
Uh, but I'll always remain, you know, like I just said, if I could help somebody out, I'd be more than happy to do it.
Yeah. Remain true with the V.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got some true black metal here. Blood Stained Dusk. Look out for the new music coming out soon. Profana, drummer. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, brother. High horns and hails to the rest of the guys in the band, and to Wendy. Thank you very much for putting this together.
High
Um,
horns and
yeah,
hails to you too. And thank you for the interview once again.
no problem,
And
man.
we will talk again shortly.
Totally, totally. You have a good one, man.
You
Cheers.
too. That's it.